Good morning, everybody. Here we are working on level 4, file 10A, that is the passive with be and the past participle. In this case, we're going to begin with the difference between the active voice and the passive voice. What is the difference between the active and the passive voice? Okay, the active voice is how we regularly speak. We have the doer of the action, the subject, the action, and the receiver of the action or the object. For example, I do homework every day. Okay? Alex wrote an essay about his grandfather's Alzheimer's. But in the passive voice, we give an accent, or we give more to the receiver of the action or the object. For example, an essay about Alzheimer's was written by Alex. Alex is the subject or the doer of the action. That is the difference between the active and the passive voice. Okay. For the active and the passive voice, well, here is the same. Usually it's easier when we use the phrase by to say who did the action at the end, but it's not necessary. If we don't know who did the action, it's not necessary to write by. We have the present passive and we have the past passive. In the present passive, we're going to use am, is, and are. In the past passive, we're going to use was and were. Okay. Kevlar is used to make bulletproof vests. Isn't used very much today. Are disposable wipers used all over the world? The dishwasher was invented by Josephine Cochrane. Windshield wipers weren't invented until 1903. When was the washing machine invented? So what is the difference when we use the present passive and the past passive? The present passive is the things that are happening right now. Kevlar is used. They still use this material to build bulletproof vests. They still use it right now, nowadays. And the past passives, the dishwasher was invented by Josephine Cochrane. In this case, was invented because the invention of the device already happened. Okay, so that is the difference between a present passive and the past passive. Okay, you can often say things in two ways, in the active or in the passive. In the active, Josephine Cochrane invented the dishwasher. This is the active because we're putting the subject first. And in the passive, if you see, by Josephine Cochrane, the actor, the actress in this case, of the action, the doer of the action goes at the end. Okay, in the active sentence, we focus more on the subject. And in the passive sentence, we focus more on the object, the dishwasher in this case. Okay. You can also use the passive when it's not known or it's not important who does the action or who did the action. For example, my car was stolen last week. We don't know who stole the car. Okay? Volvo cars are made in Sweden. It's not important who makes them, by engineers, by constructors, by builders, okay? It's not that important. And we use by to say who did the action. The Lord of the Rings was written by Tolkien. This is the active sentence. This is the passive sentence. Sorry. In the active sentence, we would say Tolkien wrote The Lord of the Rings. Now, for 10b, used to plus the verb in infinitive. We use this structure used to when we talk about something that we did regularly in the past, but we don't do it anymore. We used to go to our school. Okay, Now we don't go to school. In the past, it was usual for us to go to school, but now we don't. So we used to go to our school. She used to be overweight, but she became a model last year. Okay? So she's skinny now. Let's say that she's not overweight. Okay? She used to be a little fat. She used to be overweight, but now she's skinny. That's the difference. Now, used to and didn't used to for past habits and repeated actions. Okay? I used to drink 50 to 20 cups of coffee. I used to be a complete coffee addict. Now I just drink water. Okay? When I say I used to drink coffee, it means that I don't drink coffee anymore. I used to wake up at 4. That means that I don't wake up at 4 anymore. I used to go to the gym every day. That means that I don't go to the gym now. If we use it in the negative, for example, I didn't used to go to the gym. I didn't used to go to the gym. Así como la estructura aquí, didn't used to go to the gym. That means that now I go regularly. But in the past, I didn't go. Okay? Here's a chart on how we're going to use used to. Okay? She used to smoke. Okay? He used to smoke. That means that now he doesn't smoke. When I was a child, I used to play on the street. When I was a child, in the past, here, in this period, in the past, not in the present. So, I used to play on the street. Now I don't play on the street. My brother used to have very long hair. Okay? Now he doesn't have very long hair. He has short hair now. It's the opposite. Children didn't used to watch much TV when my father was young. When my father was young, back in the 1950s, for example. So that is in the past. Children didn't used to watch much TV. Now children watch too much TV. My daughter didn't used to like vegetables, but now she loves them. Okay? In the past, she didn't like vegetables. Now she does. Okay? Used or usually. Used to or usually. Used to only exists in the past. Usually we use it in the present. I usually cook in the evenings. Usually. We don't say, I used to cook in the evenings. No. Aunque sea aquí en presente, no. Okay? We use usually. And now for 10C, we're going to use might for possibility. Okay? We're going to use might for possibility. We can use might for suggestions, and we can use might for the conditional. But this time we're going to use might as a possibility. It might rain today. I might possibly go to the theater tonight. There are things that are possible right now. There are differences between may and might. May and might are very similar, very similar. But when we use may, I may go, she may be at home, it's a higher possibility. He might like playing basketball, it's only a possibility. Okay? So when we're talking about possibilities, may, it's a little higher than might. We might have a picnic tomorrow, but it depends on the weather. We're going to use might or might not to say that maybe you will do or you won't do something. Okay? We might have a picnic tomorrow. Maybe we will have a picnic, but it depends on the weather. Okay? Might not is not usually contracted. We cannot say might Así como will not, won't, might not, might not. No, we don't use the contractions with might not. Okay. You can also use may instead of might, but I told you the difference between may and might. May is a higher possibility, but they're usually used equally. We may have a picnic tomorrow, we might have a picnic tomorrow. We may not go to the party, esa tampoco se contrae. We might not go to the party. So may and might, we use them for possibilities, and we don't use contractions with might not and may not. Also, well, that's it. Talking about possibilities.